Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon, and the show just ended. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was a decent show, in my opinion. Though it was much better than last week's show, but not bad it was tonight. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor. We saw Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. If you remember, last week Kofi Kingston ended up taking on Giovanni Vinci, and he ended up kicking Giovanni Vinci in his chin, and then Giovanni Vinci's head bounced on the canvas. It was a brutal kick from Kofi to Vinci. And then we had the Women's Tag Team Championship on the line. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they got their rematch for the titles against Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. We had The Miz versus JD McDonagh. We saw Otis versus Ivar. And the main event, we had a street fight. Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But overall, Monday Night Raw, decent show it was tonight. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, I did a movie review of Together Brothers, so definitely check out my review of that. But really good movie it was, really enjoyed it, it's very underrated. Not many people have heard of the film, but check out my review of it. I think it's a film that, you would all want to check out. Very interesting movie. But let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was in the ring. He got on the mic, and he ended up saying his match against Seth Rollins last week was all or nothing for him. McIntyre ended up saying that he didn't want the World Heavyweight Championship and that he needed it. He ended up saying, as the people can see, he doesn't have the title. McIntyre ended up saying that he has been replaying that match against Rollins from last week over in his head. He ended up saying that he had it won when he clayboard Rollins and pinned him. He ended up saying that he was so overzealous that he put Rollins' foot on the rope. If you remember last week when McIntyre claymored Rollins, he ended up pinning Rollins, and he ended up putting Rollins' foot on the rope. The tippy foot of Rollins' foot was on the ropes. So McIntyre ended up saying that he cost himself the match because of that. McIntyre ended up saying that he has been thinking about this all week. He was like, well, maybe Rollins and Sami Zayn have been right. He ended up saying maybe the one person holding him back is himself, is Drew McIntyre. So McIntyre ended up saying that if that's the case, he needs to get himself right. McIntyre ended up saying that he has to step away from WWE for a while. And McIntyre, he possibly teased that because from what I read, McIntyre has not signed another contract with WWE. He hasn't re-signed yet. So he threw it out there. Maybe he's on his way out of WWE. We won't know. All we know is that he did not re-sign with WWE yet. So McIntyre ended up saying that he's been thinking about this, and that it wasn't easy to start feeling this way. He ended up saying that this has been a lifelong dream. And it occurred to him that it wasn't true. He ended up saying that he didn't lose straight up, and that the better man didn't win. He went on to say that Damian Priest cashed in during the match and cost him the match. He ended up saying, why would Damian Priest cash in during the match? Why did he wait until he won, until McIntyre won the match? He ended up saying Priest didn't screw himself, he screwed him as well. He screwed McIntyre as well. He kept saying between Priest, Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso being moved to Raw because of Cody's magical political power and CM Punk making his return to wide open arms, McIntyre ended up saying that he should revisit this leaving the company thing. He kept saying maybe he should leave for 9 years. Then he'll get a hero's reception on his return. And I think that's possibly going to happen if Drew McIntyre does not re-sign with WWE. And that led to CM Punk making his way out. So CM Punk came out, got a huge ovation from the crowd there in Portland. We had the fans end up chanting for Punk. So Punk got on the mic. He kept saying, they're in Piper country. He kept saying that he is disappointed that McIntyre didn't wear his kilt. And that might be too easy because people might actually cheer for him for McIntyre. He kept saying that Roddy Piper is a legend. Rest in peace to Roddy Piper. He kept saying Piper was known for talking. And that he is known for talking. CM Punk. He kept saying, is Drew McIntyre known for talking? So Punk ended up saying that since he has been back, it seems like that's all McIntyre has done, is just talk. He kept saying that it might seem weird coming from a guy who talks probably too much, but he thought since he heard his name, he might as well come out. So Punk ended up saying that if McIntyre has anything to say, he can say it to his face. And then we had the crowd end up chanting for Punk once again. McIntyre smiled. He kept saying that the floor is his. So Punk ended up laying across the top turnbuckle. He got all relaxed on the top turnbuckle. McIntyre ended up saying that he wanted to congratulate Punk. He kept saying we're going on just over a month, and he is still here. He kept saying some of the guys have a bet going on in the back that Punk is going to crash and burn. He kept saying the longer Punk stays around, the more he's costing people money. So Punk ended up chuckling at that. He kept saying, that's good. So McIntyre ended up saying that his big bad words have offended him, have offended Punk. So McIntyre ended up saying that he doesn't care about what Punk said outside the company. He kept saying that's irrelevant and that he was bitter and not getting attention. So McIntyre ended up saying that he gets it. What he cares about is what Punk does to him personally. McIntyre ended up saying that he is one of the few people left on the roster who traveled the world with him for years. He kept saying that he knows the real CM Punk. So McIntyre ended up asking if Punk remembers when he was champion and thought that he was a locker room leader. He kept saying years ago, McIntyre needed a leader. He kept saying that he was in a dark place. So McIntyre ended up saying that he doesn't need one now, and that he's got it, because he didn't have it back then. McIntyre wanted to say that he was just a kid with personal issues going on, and that his career was in a tailspin. He kept saying that he could have used a real leader to tell him it would be okay and help him navigate this place. So he kept saying that Punk saw him as a threat, so that would never happen. McIntyre ended up saying that he has spoken to Randy Orton about this before, and that Orton couldn't help him because of his own demons. So he ended up saying that Punk is straight edge and doesn't have demons. So McIntyre ended up saying that Punk is a demon, a self-serving, narcissistic succubus. So McIntyre ended up saying that he didn't need anyone to help him become a leader, and that once he got fired, he stepped up and became the man he is today. He kept saying after 9 years, he is Punk's leader. So Punk then smirked at what McIntyre said. He ended up putting his head down. McIntyre ended up going into the corner. He lied across the top turnbuckle just like what Punk did. And Punk ended up saying that he's called himself a lot of things in life and in his WWE career. He kept saying that a leader was never one of them. He kept saying that he always led by example. So Punk ended up calling himself a savior. He kept saying that if McIntyre wants a leader, he can take the pledge to the straight edge society and shave his head. Yeah, we all remember Straight Edge Society when it was him and Luke Gallows and Serena Deeb. It's kind of weird, watching, Serena Deeb now in AEW with hair, and then when she was in WWE with Punk and Luke Gallows in the Straight Edge Society. Very weird seeing her with no hair and just being bald at that time. I mean, WWE, they wasted Serena Deeb when she was there with Punk and Luke Gallows. Punk ended up saying that if McIntyre wants to talk about demons, if he isn't a leader, who walked out of this company? Who did he watch walk back in and become bigger, faster, and stronger? He ended up saying that McIntyre went on to win the Royal Rumble and main event at WrestleMania. He ended up saying that McIntyre followed his lead on the way out. Punk ended up saying that he has no problem saying he's following McIntyre's lead on the way back in. Punk ended up saying that he's bigger, faster, and stronger, and he will win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania. He ended up saying that McIntyre has a problem like that, just like Seth Rollins. So Punk ended up saying that he isn't a demon, and when he's pushed, he's Satan himself. He ended up saying that if McIntyre was one of the people who saw that side of him, that says more about McIntyre and his dark places. Punk ended up saying that he is a real nice guy until it's time not to be. He ended up saying that it looks like it's getting to be that time. Punk went on to say that he is not here to be a nice guy, and that he's not here to make friends, and that he's here to win the Rumble and win at WrestleMania. McIntyre ended up saying that they've got themselves a problem. He ended up saying that he has won the Rumble and he main evented WrestleMania, something Punk has never done. He ended up saying those title wins were for the whole world when the world shut down. Yeah, Drew McIntyre was just a COVID champion. That's what it was. When, COVID hit, that was when McIntyre won the title. He won the title with no fans. So yeah, he won the title at WrestleMania 36 with no fans in attendance because of COVID. So he ended up saying that if Punk had been here when that happened, he had probably walked out during that time. He ended up saying when the going gets tough, he gets going. Punk gets going. McIntyre ended up saying that he will be in the Royal Rumble. He ended up saying that if he sees Punk, he'll exorcise that demon and eliminate him. McIntyre ended up saying that he will go back to WrestleMania and win the title in front of live fans. He ended up saying this time it will be for him. Punk then stepped up to McIntyre. He ended up saying, it's getting spicy in here. Punk ended up saying that he will lead by example and walk away before he knocks McIntyre's teeth down his throat. He ended up saying that there's one person who can stop him from accomplishing his goals, and it's himself, CM Punk. So he ended up saying that he is getting out of his way. So McIntyre, Seth, and Cody Rhodes cannot stop him from winning the Rumble. He ended up saying, speaking leader to leader, because he's such a nice guy, at the Royal Rumble, he'll throw McIntyre out last. So Punk then walked off. McIntyre then ended up smirking and stared at Punk, and that was how this segment came to an end. But overall, this was a very good opening to Monday Night Raw here. I really enjoyed the back and forth between Drew McIntyre and Punk, and it felt like, they went out there, both McIntyre and Punk went out there, and they were delivering some bullet points, and they both let it fly. But really enjoyed it. Thought this was very good. And then we had Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY. They were walking backstage as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. Ciampa ended up saying this is the 19th anniversary of his wrestling debut. He ended up saying that it's been a long road for guys like them. They have heart and perseverance. He kept saying what they want is the WWE Tag Team titles. And this isn't about can't lose. This is a must win. He kept saying 2024, if you want a New Year's resolution, the new Tag Team Champions will be DIY. So good promo here from Tommaso Ciampa. And we'd like to see DIY as the Tag Team Champions. But hopefully this year, it will be their time to win the titles. And then we had the first match of the night. We had Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa. And this was a good match here. Really enjoyed this match between Balor and Ciampa. Thought the wrestling here was good. You had Balor being accompanied by Damian Priest. Johnny Gargano, of course, accompanied Ciampa. Match ended up starting. Both guys ended up blocking up. Balor then backed Ciampa into the corner and shouldered away at Ciampa's midsection. He then ended up punching Ciampa in his head. Balor applied a side headlock. Ciampa ended up backing Balor into the ropes and whipped him off. And then Ciampa delivered a back elbow to Balor. Ciampa then delivered a chop to Balor's chest. And Ciampa ended up going for a sunset flip. Balor rolled through and drop kicked Ciampa. He ended up going for the cover. Ciampa kicked out at 2. Balor then continued to attack Ciampa. And Balor ended up hitting the ropes. Ciampa ended up taking him down with a death press. And he started punching away at Balor. Balor quickly ended up getting out of the ring. And he ran away from Ciampa. Ciampa ended up going after Balor. But he ended up stopping because Damian Priest stepped in Ciampa's way. So Ciampa ended up avoiding an attack from Balor as he got into the ring. Ciampa then knocked Balor back. Priest then got on the apron, and Ciampa ended up scaring him off the apron. Balor then knocked Ciampa off the apron and into the commentary table. And that's when Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Ciampa ended up punching back at Balor. Balor ended up reversing the whip, but Ciampa ended up ducking a clothesline, and he connected with a clothesline of his own to Balor. Ciampa then ended up hitting a corner clothesline on Balor. So Ciampa ended up charging, but Balor ended up catching him with a falling elbow drop. Ciampa ended up reversing into a reverse DDT. He ended up going for the cover, and Balor ended up kicking out. So Balor ended up taking Ciampa down, and he double stomped his chest. Balor ended up setting up for a drop kick, but Ciampa ended up kneeing Balor in his head. Ciampa then connected with the Project Ciampa on Balor. He ended up going for the cover. Balor ended up kicking out, and Ciampa, the look on his face, he couldn't believe Balor kicked out of that. So Ciampa was sizing Balor up. He had charging at him, but Balor countered Ciampa with the sling blade. Balor then ended up hitting the Woo drop kick. He ended up going to the top rope for the coup de grace. Ciampa moved out of the way, and he rolled Balor up, and Balor ended up kicking out. So Ciampa ended up stunning Balor with a right hand. He was setting Balor up for the fairy tale ending. So Damian Priest got on the apron. Ciampa ended up punching Priest. Priest absorbed the punch, and Gargano pulled Priest off the apron. Priest was irate, and he ended up attacking Gargano. He lifted him up for a razor's edge. Gargano then ended up wiggling out of that, and Ciampa ended up stunning Priest with the flying knee. Ciampa got on the apron. Balor then hooked Ciampa's head. Balor ended up going to suplex Ciampa back into the ring. Gargano ended up pulling on Balor's foot. Ciampa then landed on top of Balor. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Tommaso Ciampa ended up winning the match. Balor was stunned at that. So Ciampa and Gargano, post-match, retreated up the ramp. Priest then charged into the ring, and he was furious about what just went down. And pretty much that was basically that. But overall, good match between Ciampa and Balor here. The Ciampa ended up picking up the win. So good on Ciampa. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Becky Lynch. Redmond ended up asking Becky about her loss to Nia Jax last week, which that match kicked off Monday Night Raw last week. So Becky Lynch ended up saying before the match, Nia Jax told her to imagine if she put her full weight behind that punch. Becky Lynch ended up saying that she tried to imagine that. Thinking maybe she'd bust her orbital socket, bust her nose, or put her into the hospital. She ended up saying last week she took a full force punch and was able to walk to the back. Remember that punch from Nia Jax last week? It knocked out Becky and it led to Becky bleeding. So Becky then ended up saying that she declared herself for the Royal Rumble, and that the last time Nia Jax punched her, she went on to win the main event of WrestleMania. Becky ended up saying maybe Nia Jax is getting weaker, and she is getting stronger. She ended up saying Nia Jax didn't end her, and she didn't stop Nia Jax, and that maybe this is just the beginning. So there you go. That was what Becky had to say. And then we had Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. Now, before the match, we got an announcement of where Money in the Bank is going to be taking place this year. And Money in the Bank is going to be taking place in Toronto in July. So, yeah, Toronto's getting Money in the Bank. Yeah, I wish we could get Money in the Bank here in New York at some point. I would definitely go to the show. But yeah, WWE, bring Money in the Bank here to New York. So then we went to the match, Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. Of course, before the match, we saw a replay of Kofi Kingston drop-kicking Giovanni Vinci last week on Raw. And, the referee ended up stopping the match because Kofi off of that drop-kick, it hit Vinci in his chin, and Vinci ended up dropping down to the canvas, and his head bounced off the canvas. So the referee had to stop the match because of that. So Michael Cole ended up announcing that Vinci will be out for a few weeks. But overall, this match I thought was decent here. So match ended up going underway. Kaiser ended up taking Kingston down with a clothesline. He started punching away at Kofi, and he was taking some aggression out over what Kofi did to Vinci last week. Kaiser ended up hitting a stiff lariat to Kofi. Kaiser then started punching away at Kofi's head. Kofi then came back and kicked Kaiser in his head, started punching at him. Kaiser then ended up kneeing Kofi and started punching him into the corner. Kaiser then chopped Kofi's chest and punched him down. Kofi fought back, but Kaiser ended up chopping Kofi's chest again. Kofi started fighting back with some chops, and he ended up getting Kaiser in the corner. He delivered 10 punches to Kaiser, but Kaiser ended up countering with a flapjack into the turnbuckle. So Kaiser ended up sending Kofi into the ring post shoulder first. Kaiser ended up kicking away at Kofi, ended up hitting a drop kick as Kofi was hung upside down. So Kaiser was heard shouting at Kofi. He was like, "You took Vinci's head, I'll take your head." So Kofi ended up knocking Kaiser back, and Kofi ended up kicking Kaiser in his head. He then ended up hitting a springboard crossbody block and started punching away at Kaiser. Kaiser then ducked the Trouble in Paradise, and he sent Kofi into the ropes. Kofi then held onto the ropes and hit Kaiser with a back body drop over the top rope. Kofi was then going for a suicide dive, but Kaiser punched Kofi in the face. Kaiser then viciously sent Kofi into the barricade and kicked him in the face. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Kaiser was in control of the match. He was shown choking Kofi with his boot. Kaiser ended up springboarding off the bottom rope, and he hit some stomps to Kofi's chest. Kaiser ended up going to the second rope. He ended up jumping, but Kofi ended up getting his boot up. So Kaiser then ended up falling out of the ring. Kofi ended up going up to the top rope. He connected with a big thrust fall to the ringside, and Kofi ended up pulling Kaiser up. Kaiser then reversed the whip into the ring steps, and Kofi ended up jumping over. Kofi then jumped off the steps and tackle Kaiser. Kaiser soon ended up sending Kofi into the ring post. He then ended up going for a running uppercut, but he ended up hitting the barricade because Kofi ended up moving out of the way. Kofi then ended up hearing the referee count. He tried to get into the ring, but Kaiser stopped him. So the ref called for the bell. So the match ended in a double count out. So both Kofi and Kaiser got counted out. So post-match, Kofi ended up kicking Kaiser away. He got into the ring to argue with the ref. Kofi was not happy about this. And then he ended up hitting Kaiser with a suicide dive into the commentary table. He started punching away at Kaiser, but Kaiser ended up raking Kofi's eyes. Kaiser ended up backing up. He ended up charging at Kofi, but Kofi ended up hitting a back body drop to Kaiser onto the commentary table. So he had officials end up running down to maintain order. Kofi ended up breaking away at the officials, but Kaiser ended up lawn-darting the bottom part of one of the commentary chairs into Kofi's forehead. So Kofi was out cold. So Kaiser just threw that commentary chair into Kofi's forehead. So officials ended up trying to keep Kaiser away. Kaiser then grabbed Kofi and laid him on the ring steps. So officials ended up making Kaiser back up, and he ended up going up the ramp. Kaiser then sidestepped the officials. He ended up running around ringside, and he drop kicked Kofi's head into the ring steps. So Kaiser ended up going away, and the crowd ended up loudly booing at Kaiser, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, this was decent between Kofi and Kaiser. You know, it was going to end in a double count out, and the post-match stuff was well done. And it was crazy seeing Kaiser end up drop kicking Kofi's head into the ring steps. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage, and she was looking for an update on Kofi Kingston. Kaiser ended up walking up to Redmond, and Redmond ended up asking about his flipping the switch and becoming a different person. Kaiser ended up asking Redmond what she would expect. Kaiser ended up saying that he's carrying the whole world of Imperium because of Kofi. He ended up saying that Kofi took Vinci's head, so he took Kofi's head. So that was what Kaiser had to say. And then we had Michael Cole. Michael Cole was in the ring, and he ended up introducing Nia Jax. So Nia Jax made her way to the ring. Michael Cole ended up saying that Nia Jax shocked the world when she dominated Becky Lynch to pick up the win last week on Raw. So Nia Jax ended up saying that she is incredulous that Cole said it was shocking. Nia Jax ended up saying that she wasn't shocked. She ended up saying that she is a different Nia Jax and that she's more focused. She ended up saying, is Michael Cole like these people here who didn't think she'd break Becky Lynch's face again? She ended up saying what would be shocking is if she broke Michael Cole's face. So Nia Jax ended up saying that she's more focused on the Royal Rumble. And soon she'll run through 29 other women and earn her main event spot at WrestleMania. I hope not. God, can you imagine that? She ended up saying whether it would be Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, there's not a man or woman who can stop her. And that led to the Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, making her way out. Rhea Ripley surprisingly got a huge reaction in Portland. And I was like, thank you, Rhea Ripley, for saving us from what possibly could have been a terrible promo from Nia Jax. So Rhea Ripley got into the ring. The crowd started chanting, "Mommy." So Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She ended up saying that these people know what's up. She ended up saying they also know that Nia Jax likes to talk a big game. She ended up saying that Nia Jax is walking around out here like she's already won the Royal Rumble. So Rhea ended up saying to Nia Jax, do you remember what happened last year? Because she does. She ended up saying that she threw Nia Jax out of the ring. She ended up saying last week she might have beaten Becky, which is a fine achievement. She ended up saying that the fact remains that Becky isn't her, isn't Rhea Bloody Ripley. So Rhea ended up saying that until Nia Jax wants to step up to her, she advises her to stop walking around like she owns this division, because she doesn't. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that if Nia Jax manages to win the Royal Rumble, it's best to keep her name out of her mouth. So Nia Jax ended up saying that she gives Rhea Ripley all the credit. She ended up saying that Rhea Ripley might be the most dominant champion in this division's history, but she put Rhea Ripley on her ass when she came back. She ended up saying that the only reason she's not holding the Women's World Championship is because Rhea Ripley is too scared to face her one-on-one. She ended up saying that at the Royal Rumble, when she squashes 29 other women and wins the Rumble, she's going to choose Rhea Ripley. She ended up saying that Rhea Ripley will have no excuse and no choice but to face her. So Nia Jax then ended up saying, "See you soon, unstoppable champ." And pretty much that was basically that. But who want to see that? Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. I know I don't. Who is asking for that? But overall, I thought this was an okay segment here. I mean, Rhea Ripley, I gotta say, she absolutely saved this segment from being shitty with Nia Jax in there. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Cody Rhodes. Redmond ended up asking Rhodes about facing Shinsuke Nakamura. He ended up saying to Jackie Redmond that this should be over. So then all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura attacked Rhodes from behind. Cody ended up fighting back. He ended up sending Nakamura into a road case. Officials ended up quickly breaking things up between Nakamura and Rhodes. Adam Pearce ran up. He ended up screaming at them to maintain order. So that was pretty much basically that. And then we had Kayden Carter and Katana Chance versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. The Women's Tag Team Championship was on the line. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven get their rematch for the titles. And surprisingly, this was a decent match. And Kayden Carter and Katana Chance, they were getting over with the crowd here, which I like. I'm glad that Kayden and Katana are getting over with the crowd. You know, they're making names for themselves. So the match ended up starting. We had Kayden Carter and Chelsea Green start off the match. Piper Niven quickly distracted Kayden Carter, and Chelsea Green ended up drop kicking Carter out of the ring. Kayden Carter ended up avoiding a baseball slide, and she ended up running into the ring. Kayden Carter ended up catching Chelsea Green with a springboard drop kick. She then ended up laying Chelsea Green on the middle turnbuckle. Katana Chance ended up tagging in, and she jumped onto Chelsea Green. Carter then ended up tagging back in, and she super kicked Chelsea Green. Piper Niven ended up running in, but Kayden Carter ended up hitting a drop toe hold into the middle rope. And Katana Chance ended up tagging in, and Chance and Carter ended up setting up for a double team on Chelsea Green, but Piper Niven ended up breaking it up. Chance was then knocked into the corner. Piper Niven then ended up flattening Chance with a cannonball, and then Monday Night Raw into commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Piper Niven ended up missing a cannonball on Katana Chance. Chelsea Green ended up quickly tagging in. She ended up going after Kayden Carter, but she ended up missing. Katana Chance then ended up kicking Chelsea Green away and tagged in Kayden Carter. Carter ended up taking out both Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. You had Kayden Carter end up getting Chelsea Green in the electric chair on the second rope. Katana Chance ended up tagging in, and she ended up hitting a wild Super Hurricanrana on Chelsea Green. She ended up going for the cover, and Chelsea Green ended up kicking out. So we had later on, Chelsea Green ended up throwing Kayden Carter down. Katana Chance ended up pulling Kayden Carter out of the ring, and she knocked Chelsea Green down because Piper Niven was on the top. Piper Niven ended up hitting Chelsea Green with a Vader bomb, and so Katana Chance ended up coming off the top rope, ended up hitting a flying lung blower on Piper Niven. So Kayden Carter ended up tagging Katana Chance in. So Katana Chance and Kayden Carter end up hitting the keg stand, and there you go. They end up going for the cover. Kayden Carter and Katana Chance end up winning the match, retaining the Women's Tag Team Championship. Overall, decent match this was. And, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance, they have some great offense, and they're a legit tag team, and the crowd is starting to get behind the both of them, which is great. Decent match. And then Michael Cole ended up announcing that due to Nakamura attacking Cody backstage, the main event was changed to a street fight. So it went from a one-on-one to a street fight between the both of them. And then we had R-Truth. And this was very funny. I really enjoyed this promo here from R-Truth. This was highly entertaining and hilarious. So R-Truth was shown talking about him being born in Charlotte, North Carolina on a cold January morning. He ended up saying that day, he told the doctor that he would be in the Judgment Day. He ended up saying that dream came true. He ended up saying they've been through a lot together. Money in the Bank, the Women's Royal Rumble, the Judgment Day in Your House pay-per-view. He ended up saying that the Judgment Day is an unbreakable bond. And it was just them putting R-Truth. There was a Photoshop of R-Truth with Judgment Day there, which was hilarious. And of course, it showed R-Truth in that Photoshop image of him holding that garbage 24/7 title. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. So replays were shown of R-Truth being JD McDonagh, and he was jokingly set for the winner being out of Judgment Day. So R-Truth ended up saying that he loves all the members, even Dom and Nick Mysterio. He was like, even though I never met Nick. So he ended up saying, live, laugh, love. And that was how the promo ended. But this was hilarious. This was absolutely funny with R-Truth here. Really liked the funny photoshopped images of R-Truth with the Judgment Day, there in the pictures. It was just hilarious. And then Damian Priest was shown laughing at what he just watched. So JD McDonagh ended up saying that he's not happy. Rhea Ripley ended up asking when they're going to handle the R-Truth joke. Priest ended up saying that when the time comes, they'll handle it. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that Priest and Balor have a lot to handle with DIY. So Balor flipped out about them, and Priest ended up calming Balor down. Priest ended up saying that McIntyre is too much of a joke to be his enemy. He was like, speaking of enemies, did Rhea Ripley think it was a good idea to make one of Nia Jax? So Rhea Ripley ended up telling McDonagh to take care of The Miz. So McDonagh ended up saying that he is confident he will. So that was that. So it looked like Priest was liking what he saw there with R-Truth. He was laughing at that. And then we had The Miz versus JD McDonagh. JD McDonagh was accompanied by Dominic, and this was an okay match here. So we had R-Truth at ringside, and R-Truth ended up putting his arm around Dominic, which was funny, and the crowd was chanting for R-Truth. R-Truth being out there got the crowd to pop for him. I mean, the crowd was just chanting for him. You know, R-Truth got a big pop there in Portland. So Miz ended up taking McDonagh down with a shoulder tackle. Miz then turned McDonagh inside out with a kitchen sink knee to his midsection. Miz ended up going for a running kick, but McDonagh ended up getting out of the ring. Miz got the crowd going and cheering for R-Truth. Miz then ended up kicking away at McDonagh in the corner. Miz ended up backing up. He ended up going for his corner clothesline, but McDonagh ended up moving out of the way. McDonagh then started the it kicks on the Miz. Miz blocked one of the kicks and took McDonagh down. He ended up going for a figure four leg lock. McDonagh started kicking Miz away, but Miz connected with a reality check. He ended up going for the cover, and McDonagh ended up kicking out. Miz then ended up chopping McDonagh's chest. He started talking trash to Dominic. So that's when Miz ended up sending McDonagh into the ropes. He ended up blowing his head, and he ate a kick from McDonagh. McDonagh ended up charging at the Miz, but Miz ended up hitting a back body drop to McDonagh. Miz then set up for the skull crushing finale, but McDonagh ended up countering out of that. So Dominic then ended up attacking Miz from behind. McDonagh then took Miz down. So McDonagh and Dominic ended up posing, as did R-Truth, which was funny. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had McDonagh end up applying a chinlock on the Miz. Miz fought up and elbowed him. McDonagh then ended up quickly clubbing Miz in the neck. He ended up going for a back suplex, but Miz flipped through. Miz then charged at McDonagh, but McDonagh ended up applying a sleeper hold. Miz then hit the jawbreaker to get out of the sleeper hold on McDonagh. McDonagh then avoided an avalanche and took Miz down. McDonagh ended up hitting a slingshot corkscrew splash to the Miz, which he ended up going for the cover, and Miz ended up kicking out. So what was funny was R-Truth ended up shouting that he's cheering for McDonagh. So then McDonagh started punching Miz, and then we had the crowd end up chanting JD sucks at him. So at the end of the match, we had Dominic end up checking on McDonagh. Miz ended up wiping both McDonagh and Dominic out with a baseball slide. Miz ended up getting McDonagh in the ring for the skull crushing finale, to which he did. He hit the skull crushing finale on McDonagh. Miz then ended up going for the cover, and there you go. The Miz ended up winning the match. Overall, match was okay, in my opinion. Wasn't great or perfect by any means, but R-Truth here, you know, he got a big pop from the crowd there, which was great. So then we saw Balor, Priest, and Rhea Ripley. They were not happy with McDonagh losing the match. Balor ended up saying that this cannot keep happening. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she's going to talk to Adam Pearce about their plans for next week. So Priest ended up saying that they'll tell the boys when they get back. They'll tell McDonagh and Dominic. So that was basically that. And then we went to we went to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins ended up coming out, big ovation in Portland. Crowd was singing his song. Rollins then greeted the crowd in Portland, and he welcomed them to Monday Night Rollins. Of course, Rollins goes, "I am a visionary and a revolutionary. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth frickin' Rollins." He ended up saying we are in the home stretch with the Royal Rumble just a few weeks away. He ended up saying after that, we are on the road to WrestleMania. He ended up saying that his WrestleMania track record is pretty good. He ended up saying that he won a few titles and had a cash in. He ended up saying that there's one thing he's never done. He's never taken a world title into WrestleMania. He ended up saying that he's never been the headline or on the marquee. He ended up saying that changes this year because this is the year of Seth frickin' Rollins. Rollins then wanted to say that he worked too hard and too long, and that he took a title that didn't even exist a year ago and turned it into the most important prize in the industry. He ended up saying that he did it the way he said he would. He was going to be a fighting champion, and a workhorse champion. He ended up saying that the work is not done. Rollins ended up saying that he has one little question. Who am I going to beat at the grandest stage of them all? And then the crowd started chanting for CM Punk. And Rollins ended up saying, in his dreams. And then we got, God, 2 weeks in a row already. Jinder Mahal came out. The worst WWE champion made his way to the ring. So last week, Jinder Mahal made his return where Triple H was like, oh, we're going to introduce a former champion next week on Raw. And that proved to be Jinder Mahal. And I'm like, oh, God. The terrible segment until The Rock came out and saved the segment. And so The Rock ended up taking out Jinder Mahal. So Jinder Mahal got on the mic. He ended up saying that Rollins is singing his own praises. He ended up saying, how is it that last week, within 5 minutes, he was more of a revolutionary than Rollins was in 5 years? Yeah, Jinder Mahal was a revolutionary because he got beat down by The Rock. So, he ended up saying Rollins is pushing an agenda of degeneracy. Jinder Mahal ended up telling Portland to look at their city, and that there is degeneracy in every street corner. He ended up saying that the World Heavyweight Champion, the man with the platform, instills no change and speaks no truth. He ended up saying that he dresses up, but puts no value. He ended up saying that Rollins throws temper tantrums when things don't go his way after the show goes off the air. He ended up saying that Rollins thinks he's a workhorse and provides opportunities, except to a former champion like himself. The former worst WWE champion in Jinder Mahal. He ended up saying that Rollins has the audacity to overlook the modern day Maharaja. So Jinder Mahal ended up saying that he beat Randy Orton, the greatest of all time. And he did it with ease. Yeah, the worst feud in 2017. And Jinder Mahal ended up beating Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, killing SmackDown in that year. So he ended up saying, yet Rollins disrespects him and overlooks him. He ended up saying this disrespect will not be tolerated. Mahal ended up saying that he has known Rollins for a long time and sees through it. So Jinder Mahal ended up telling Rollins for the first time he has his attention. So Rollins then looked unimpressed. Rollins ended up saying that he'll say something that might surprise Mahal. But he's right. He ended up saying that Jinder Mahal has been overlooked. And that wasn't an accident. And that they've been doing it on purpose. They've been trying to forget him until last week when The Rock put his balls in a vice. Rollins ended up saying that he admires the fact that Mahal showed up after The Rock fried him. And Rollins ended up saying that what he doesn't respect is Jinder Mahal ruining the party and getting in his face. Rollins then dared Jinder Mahal to take a swing. Jinder Mahal didn't oblige to take a swing at Rollins. So Rollins was like, oh, look at this. It's the same old Jinder. So Rollins then turned his back on Mahal. Mahal ended up attacking Rollins from behind. Rollins started fighting back. Mahal then clotheslined Rollins down. Mahal ended up setting up for the Colossus on Rollins, but Rollins ended up getting out, and he super kicked Mahal. Rollins was then going for the stomp, but Mahal ended up moving, and he retreated out of the ring, and he was irate. And pretty much that was basically that. But what is this? Are we seriously getting Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship? Who was asking for that? Who is asking for this? Do we really need it? God, I hope we don't get Jinder Mahal as the World Heavyweight Champion. Please no. That would be fucking awful. It will be a rehash of what we saw in 2017. But God, I hope not. Please no. And then we had Otis versus Ivar. This match came about because we saw early in the day Ivar and Valhalla were bullying Akira Tozawa backstage. Otis stood up for Akira Tozawa. And so Otis ended up challenging Ivar to a match. And I'm like, we've seen these guys go at it before. And I'm like, we're going back to the Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders, even though Eric is not there. We have Ivar. So I'm like, we're doing this again? When we saw how many matches last year with the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. I lost count on how many matches we saw with them last year. But match ended up getting in the way. Otis ended up pushing Ivar off. Otis ended up gyrating, so Ivar ended up kicking at Otis. Otis stuck the clothesline, and both Otis and Ivar collided in the center of the ring. Otis ended up quickly taking Ivar down with a back elbow. Otis ended up charging at Ivar in the corner, but Ivar ended up hitting a seated senton. Ivar ended up attacking Otis and started punching away at him. We had Otis end up catching Ivar out of midair, ended up hitting the Royal Struggle Slam. Ivar ended up climbing to the second rope. Otis ended up climbing up to the second rope, but Ivar ended up attacking him from behind. Ivar ended up lifting Otis, and he ended up hitting a sit-out powerbomb, and so he ended up going for the cover, to which Otis ended up kicking out. Otis then connected with a caterpillar elbow drop to Ivar. He ended up going for the cover, and Ivar kicked out. Ivar ended up hitting a spinning heel kick to Otis. He went up to the top rope. He ended up hitting the Doom Salt on Otis, and there you go. Ivar ended up winning the match. Post-match, Akira Tozawa got into the ring. He stepped up to Ivar. Ivar ended up swatting Tozawa away and started shouting at him, and pretty much that was that. Overall, to me, the match was a squash match. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with main event Jey Uso. So Jackie Redmond ended up wishing Jey a Happy New Year. He kept saying that 2024 is a new vibe for him, and that this is the first time he's going into a new year solo. Jey ended up saying that he's going to get his first ever singles championship this year, and that the Yeet Master is in the game. So Bronson Reed walked up to Jey. He ended up saying that Jey isn't the only one with plans to become a champion this year. Bronson Reed ended up warning Jey to not get in his way. Pretty much that was that. So Jey Uso wants a singles championship match. And Bronson Reed wants to become champion this year as well. We'll see how this comes into play. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, they announced what we're going to see next week on Monday Night Raw. And next week, we're going to be getting Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal for the World Heavyweight Championship. Great. Great. Then R-Truth and The Miz, Awesome Truth, will reunite again. And they will battle Balor and Damian Priest. We're going to have Dirty Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonagh versus DIY. And then Gunther will make his return to Monday Night Raw next week. And this is all going to be on Monday Night Raw next week from Little Rock, Arkansas. Obviously, I'm not going to be covering Monday Night Raw next week because I will be in Disney World starting Saturday. So, won't be reviewing any of the shows next week. Going to enjoy my time in Disney World, which I am excited for. Main event, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes, street fight. And this was a pretty good matchup here with Nakamura and Rhodes. Match ended up getting on the way. We had a Cody chant end up fighting up from the crowd. Nakamura ended up slowly walking up to Cody. He ended up chopping at Cody's chest. Cody ended up dropping down, and he uppercutted Nakamura. Cody ended up punching Nakamura and sent him into the ropes, but Nakamura ended up holding on, and he pulled himself out of the ring. Cody then connected with a baseball slide on Nakamura. He then ended up fighting Nakamura up the ramp and off to the side of the stage. Cody ended up sending Nakamura sternum first into the barricade and then into the LED barricade. Cody ended up punching Nakamura back to ringside. Nakamura then ended up fighting back with some knees to his midsection. Cody ended up kicking and clubbing Nakamura, and he bounced him off the commentary table. Cody then bounced Nakamura off the ring steps and put him back into the ring. So Cody ended up going up to the top rope. Nakamura then rolled out of the ring. So Cody ended up getting down. He ended up looking for Nakamura, who was crawling around ringside. Cody ended up poking his head out, and Nakamura ended up hitting Cody in the head with a broom, which that has to hurt. Nakamura then ended up bringing in a kendo stick, and he laid in some shots onto Cody. Cody then rolled out of the ring to recover. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Nakamura was in control of the match. He was kneeing Cody. Nakamura then ended up hitting a snapmare. He ended up going for a knee drop, but Cody ended up moving out of the way. Cody then grabbed the kendo stick, and he started unloading on Nakamura with the kendo stick. Nakamura then ended up ducking a swing. He kneed Cody before laying him on the top rope. Nakamura ended up backing up. He ended up hitting a running knee to his ribs, to Cody's ribs. Nakamura then ended up going for the cover, and Cody ended up kicking out at 2. There was a point later on in the match where Nakamura, he was going to spit the poison mist in Cody's face, and the timekeeper ended up taking the poison mist in his face, which the timekeeper was Cody's cousin, which Brandy ended up mentioning that on X, or formerly known as Twitter. So that was Cody's cousin as the timekeeper, and that's the real reason why Cody was like, send help, send help. So Nakamura then ended up attacking Cody with the chair. So we had, at the end of the match, we had Cody end up avoiding the Kinshasa. He ended up sending Nakamura through the table in the corner. Cody then connected with the Crossroads. He ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Cody Rhodes ended up winning the match. But overall, it was a good match here between Cody and Nakamura in a street fight. But Nakamura loses again. He lost to Seth Rollins, and now he loses to Cody. I'm like, where does Nakamura go after this? I have no idea what they're going to do with Nakamura. But overall, decent show for Monday Night Raw tonight. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout tomorrow for a DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and Laserdisc update. So be on the look for that video tomorrow. And also on Wednesday, my AEW Dynamite review. So those 2 videos will be coming up. So until then, see you all tomorrow for the DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and Laserdisc update.